Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights. I am JD, aka He Who Pods. Glasses on today, so also rearview mirror. They're a little dirty too. Let me see, clean these one time. You know what I'm saying? Uno momento, por favor. While I clean my glasses, Dash will not be here today. The recovery house said it's too damn hot for her to pod, and they're right. It's too damn hot to do pretty much anything today. Over here in the East Coast, I don't know where you're listening from. Maybe our people in Ghana. Hi, thank you. You might be used to it. But over here in the New York area, it's hot as who knows. The devil's shoes. It is extremely hot and humid. It feels like it's 103 degrees in New York, and in New Jersey, it feels like it's 112. God damn. It's nasty. And so Dash will have to sit out this time, and probably tomorrow too. We'll see. But I will continue the show. I was going to go live, but man, it's too hot for that too. I need to pre-record this one and take my sweet ass time, if you know what I'm saying. Let's get to it. This is from Complex Pop. It says Harold and Kumar 4 is officially in the works. Not 1, not 2, not 3. You got it. 4. Harold and Kumar 4. A fourth one. That's Cuatro for those who speak the Espanol. Okay? It says Harold and Kumar 4 is officially in the works. They are expected to reprise their roles, the two main characters. That's it. I don't have more information. That's all I got. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. So I just wanted y'all to know that. Harold and Kumar 4. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you. I have no idea why we need a fourth one. I don't watch this franchise. I don't watch these kind of movies. But I spoke to a friend of mine, and I was like, I don't even remember there being a third one. And they told me, quote, there didn't need to be one. It wasn't even a legit movie. It was a Christmas special. Now, I don't know if that's true. Y'all got to do your research. But I don't understand why. Like, how many Get High movies do we need? What do I mean by that? I like to call them Get High movies. There's a group of movies that it's like we made this for people to watch when they're intoxicated. In my opinion, Cocaine Bear is one of those movies that's come out in the recent years. It's a movie that you can't really take seriously. It's like, this shouldn't even exist. There's got to be a joke. But if you watch it intoxicated, if you watch it high, then you'll enjoy it. There's other movies like this. Pineapple Express is a classic example of this. Even though I think you don't got to be high to watch Pineapple Express, but it does enhance the experience, I've heard. Didn't do the research on that one, but that's what I've heard. So, yeah, that's what I have heard about those kind of movies. I don't know how many of these we need. Like in 2025, I don't know why we're still doing like the silly, ridiculous, we got intoxicated, we made this for the intoxicated crowd movies. I felt like, man, poor Hollywood. This is really what we got to do. I mean, maybe I sound like a broken record, and that's fine. I'm sure I can understand why somebody who's a fan of the franchise or any of the franchises I say what I'm about to say about are tired of hearing me say it, but I just don't understand why we need to continue to create or more and more and more and more sequels of movies. Like, let's move on to something else. I think it also, which I've said before, I think sometimes, not all the time, some of them end up being okay, but I think sometimes when you can continue to just put out movie after movie after movie, sequel after sequel after sequel, you water down the legacy of this franchise so much that it kind of becomes like that artist who just wouldn't stop making music. And you're like, man, they used to be great, but now they just put out any old thing. And I feel like Hollywood has continued to do this. And I feel like I don't really know why. And I don't think they're considering that. And maybe they don't care. Maybe they just care that, hey, we're going to make a couple dollars and that's it. But I think, like, as a fan of a franchise, like a good example of this was when Disney made their Star Wars movies, those 3 movies they made that were 7, 8, and 9. They just put out any old thing. It was garbage. And instead of saying, hey, we're going to take the time to take a step back and recreate something that is quality, not quantity, they just were like, we're putting out a Star Wars movie every year for the next couple of years. And sure, Star Wars is such a big franchise that like it made big money the first 1 film or 2 films, but fans were not happy, and you saw those numbers start to go down. So much so that some of the movies they announced when they first bought Disney, or even as those first couple of movies were coming out, they said, actually, we see there's not enough demand for this. and they had to scrap them. So I think as a Star Wars fan, you know what I'm saying, there's like not enough demand for those things today. They had to kind of start almost over with the whole like Mandalorian and Ahsoka and all these other things, Boba Fett show, so they could kind of regain the trust and the interest of the fans. And I think that's a great example of what I continue to say. Like, you put out so much hot garbage that it becomes challenging for fans and audiences to come and put their asses in seats and give you those ticket sales that you want. So I think that this is something that Hollywood has a problem with, but continues to do because they just care about the dollars. And so I think it's sad for the fans of that. Like, Star Wars fans went through a lot of drama at that time and were pissed off and split on what was good and not good, what character should have stayed alive, what character should have died, all this stuff. And so I'm not saying Harold and Kumar might go through that, but I know I've said that a lot up here as of late, but they keep doing it. And I feel like they don't realize that. So yeah, that's my take. Harold and Kumar 4. Why? Let's move on. So we told you guys up here that Cardi B announced her album was done a while ago. We spoke about what she said about it. And then we came back and told you she announced a new single was coming. So Outside has come out. It came out on Friday, what's today's date? 23rd. So what's that, like the 21st or something? I believe so. 21. Can you do something for me? It was the 20th. So on the 20th, Outside came out. That is currently circulating, buzzing. But Cardi made another announcement today. And is that her album, quote, not quote, her album titled Am I the Drama, ? Will be coming out on September 19th. And the pre-order link is already available. This is not an ad. Cardi didn't pay us. And I thought, man, that's really exciting. Cardi's album is finally coming. The single's out. People are reacting to it in a good way. So from what I've seen, people seem to be really digging it so far. And I was excited. I was excited for Cardi. I was excited that finally Cardi fans will get what they want. And we'll be able to just hear some new Cardi music as a populace, as a culture. But then I saw something that really made me feel weird. And now I don't know how to feel. I'm not trying to hate on Cardi. I'm just really confused. And I hope that people seeing this can put their thoughts in the comments. But Complex Music put out a post that says Cardi B's upcoming album has already sold 1.5 million units. And when I read that headline, I said, damn, Cardi is killing it. She must have crazy pre-saves, pre-orders already. That's amazing. But then I read the caption, and this is where I kind of got a little lost. It says, Cardi B's 23-track sophomore album will include WAP Up and Outside. These tracks have helped boost the album's unit equivalence move before the project is even released in full. And so I know that this is a rule. I understand that X amount of streams equal physical units. Cool. I understand that if you put a song that you already had out on your album and it's the same length, those numbers, those streams and physical units, quote unquote, moved or sold are supposed to then transfer over to the new album. Example, WAP is going to transfer over to Cardi's album, but this is part of my confusion. WAP came out in 2021. 4 years later, she's allowed to just bring that over and it transfers. There's no time frame on this. So can I put like a new album out and put a song from 2009 on it? I'm really confused about how this works and confused by the move because maybe I'm bugging out. Well, wasn't WAP Meg's single and Cardi was featured on it? Maybe I'm misremembering and it was Cardi's single and Meg was on it. That's fine. I'm not even mad about whose song it belongs to, quote unquote. I'm just confused as to why this is on the project and why this is allowed to transfer this way. Also, isn't 23 songs a lot of music? Even with these 3 singles that we know about that came out in vastly different time frames, because it says right here, WAP came out in 2020, Up came out in 2021, outside, I just said just came out. And so here's these songs from 4 and 5 years later coming over. I don't know. I'm confused. But even with those 3 songs coming over, outside, I got no beef with. I'm not saying it shouldn't be there. I'm not even saying WAP shouldn't be there. I'm just confused as to why this is allowed. And I don't know, like, for me, this kind of took some of the air out of the balloon. I'm not going to say all the air. That would be an exaggeration. I still am excited for Cardi B and for Cardi B fans. I just feel like, isn't this kind of whack that already she's able to do this? Because it means her album is already a success, even though we really have not heard shit from it. I understand. There are 20 more tracks. And so people would say, man, you're hating. There's a lot of new music. But that new music is not what made her already platinum. And that's kind of my confusion. I'm not saying Cardi is not capable of going platinum. I'm not saying Cardi doesn't deserve to go platinum. I haven't heard enough to be able to say that. I mean, so I'm just confused by this. I guess we'll see what happens. Once again, the day for her album release is September 19th. I just think this is a weird situation. And maybe that has nothing to do with Cardi. I'm not even blaming Cardi. I'm just speaking about the rules of the industry and the streams being carried over to this new project. So that's where I'm at. I'm just a little confused, but exciting times for Cardi B and Cardi B fans. I guess we'll see how things go. I hope everything goes well. I think 23 songs is a lot for today's music fans. But I also see the other side where, yeah, it's true. On this hand, people are used to shorter albums. On the flip side, it's been 7 years. And so perhaps you just want to give your audience a good amount of music because it's been so long. So I see both sides. What I wonder is how this will play out once the album drops. I wonder, will Cardi fans feel like this is too much? Or they'll feel like, man, it's great to have this much music because we've been waiting so long. I don't know the answer. I'm curious to see how it goes. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Is this something that you think is a good idea or a bad idea, the 23 songs? All right, this is kind of a follow-up topic. There's some interesting things that have happened. So when Mariah Carey dropped the song Type Dangerous recently, we spoke about it and how we enjoy the record, etc. But one of the things I thought was interesting that I said here on this platform was that this single was released by Gamma. And for those who don't know, it's labeled as like Larry Jackson's label. But it seems that other people are involved. Usher has publicly said he's involved. In an interview, Larry Jackson insinuated that Drake was involved. He said when he was looking for funding to start the label, Drake was one of the people who answered his call. I feel like there was another person. I want to say L.A. Reid, but I could be wrong about that part. Anyway, it seems there's more to the story. And so we go to the Hollywood Reporter. It says here, Mariah Carey signs multi-album deal with Gamma. L.A. Reid will produce the singer's next album as part of the new partnership with the company launched by Larry Jackson. It says Mariah Carey has entered into a partnership with Gamma, Larry Jackson's independent music company, as the singer is readying the release of her upcoming 16th album. Jackson and Carey first revealed the new partnership in interviews with Forbes last week, just ahead of Carey's latest single, Type Dangerous, with the outlet confirming they're partnered for a multi-album deal. The album itself is being executive produced by L.A. Reid, who worked closely with Carey after signing her to Island Def Jam in the early 2000s, where she released her multi-platinum, The Emancipation of Mimi. It says Jackson has quickly turned Gamma into one of the music industry's most notable indie companies since its 2023 launch, working with artists like Usher, Sexy Red, and Snoop Dogg, the latter of whom moved Death Row under Gamma for distribution services. Carey comes to Gamma after having previously signed with Sony's Epic Records, where she released her most recent studio album, Caution, back in 2016. Quote, what Larry Jackson is building at Gamma is beyond music, Carey told Forbes. Quote, it's a cultural shift, and I'm excited to be part of something that honors legacy while pushing boundaries. This next chapter is about owning my narrative and creating freely on my own terms. Carey Carey and Gamma released Type Dangerous last Friday, marking Carey's first new single in several years. With it, Carey is looking to tie with the Beatles for the most number ones ever on the Hot 100. The Fab Four have 20 number ones all time, which Carey is close behind at 19. So actually, after this article came out, that changed. And so let's talk a little bit about that as well. So we go to Billboard. Billboard says Mariah Carey earns her 50th Billboard Hot 100 with Type Dangerous. Type Dangerous debuts at number 5 on the chart, dated June 2021, June 21st, 2025. It's hot, y'all. I'm sweating. I know y'all see your boy sweating. I'm sorry. It's too hot to be thinking. It says released June 6th. The song starts with 2.5 million official streams, 14.7 million in radio airplay audience, and 5,000 sold in the United States in the week ending in June 12th, according to data tracker Luminate. Boosting its profile, Carey performed Type Dangerous on the 2025 BET Awards on June 9th, when she also was honored with the Ultimate Icon Award. The track, which Carey co-wrote and co-produced, previews her 16th album after her Caution album in 2018. Type Dangerous is her first non-holiday entry without any billed artist since Infinity on May 16th, 2015 charts. Yeah, so we know lots of those other things about her. It goes into like her stuff with the Christmas stuff. And it does say, again, she's right behind the Beatles. So she's charting, and if it continues to go, she will pass the Beatles or tie the Beatles with this. The article goes into a little bit of the history of it. We'll see how that goes. But it does say it is debuting well and doing well so far. So we'll see what happens. Mariah Carey could very well get that number one. And we'll see what happens at that point. So Mariah Carey could very well be tied with the Beatles very soon. I think all of this is interesting. It all kind of ties together, but I think it's all very interesting because we get to see a new era for Mariah, and we know L.A. Reid, we know what he does. So to see Mariah and L.A. Reid come together again, I think is a beautiful thing. I think it's really interesting, Mariah making the move over to Gamma for a multi-album deal. And I'm curious to see how long that deal is. How is it structured? Will more info come out? I don't know. My guess is honestly probably not until way later after it's done. Or if she ends up re-signing. We usually don't hear stuff like this about Mariah Carey or like L.A. Reid and Gamma. Those things are pretty tight-lipped. But I am very curious about the deal. It just says multi-album. That could be 2 albums, 5 albums, who knows? But I think this is really interesting, and I'm excited to hear L.A. Reid and Mariah link back up and see what does that actually sound like. As far as her going number 1 on Billboard, we'll see. If it happens, I think that'll be pretty fly. Time will tell. All right, this is according to Entertainment Tonight. It says Tom Cruise and Dolly Parton will receive honorary Oscars this year. The caption says, mission accomplished. Tom Cruise is finally getting his long overdue Oscar, or an honorary one at least. The Academy has announced that Tom will be one of the honorees receiving the Academy Award at this year's Governor's Awards. Quote, Tom Cruise's incredible commitment to our filmmaking community, to the theatrical experience, and to the stunts community has inspired us all, the Academy said. Tom Cruise was nominated for acting in Born on the 4th of July, Jerry Maguire, and Magnolia, and for producing Top Gun Maverick. But he didn't win. Actress and choreographer Debbie Allen and production designer Wynn Thomas will also take home honorary Oscars, while the Jean Herschel Humanitarian Award will go to Dolly Parton. In the end, it turns out Tom didn't need to jump out of an airplane to get his Oscar. Congratulations to all. Listen, if you're a Tom Cruise fan and a Dolly Parton fan, this is probably very exciting for you. It's not for me. I am sick of seeing honorary Oscars. honorary awards. Listen, y'all have your awards for the year and what people get. I know people are going to say like the Icon Award is probably similar. Cool beans. I don't give a fuck. I am sick and tired of seeing people get honorary stuff. Honorary Oscars. Stop. If you did something and they consider you an icon, fine. Then give an Icon Award. Give them the Black Dr. Dre Grammy. You know, whatever. But I'm tired of the honorary thing. It's like, oh, we probably should have been gave you one, so we're going to give you one now. I think it's corny. I'm tired of seeing it. I don't care who it is. I know Samuel L. Jackson got one, and we spoke about Samuel Jackson just the other day up here. Cool. I mean, then make films that get Oscars or recognize people in ways where we don't got to do this honorary thing. Recognize, hey, you did a dope job. Here's your thing. But like, we just want to give you this thing because you've still been acting. Stop. I'm tired of seeing it. If you got a take that's different than mine, that's cool. This is my opinion. I'm not saying it's facts. Personally, in my opinion, I don't think honorary awards should exist. If you want to honor them, give them an Icon Award or legend, whatever you want to call it. Not an honorary Oscar just to say thanks for being here. Fuck that. I don't want to see it. That's my take. Not much more to say here. I think it's corny. I'm sick of doing it. It's like the, hey, we should have been gave you this award. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. That's it. That's my take. So if y'all feel differently, cool. Feel free to say so in the comments. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to see it. Thumbs down for the honorary award. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Weeknights. Thank you for being here. I'll see y'all tomorrow.